Welcome to Be Bold Branding. Today's guest is one of our BrandFace real estate agents from Waconia, Minnesota. And she just made two super bold moves. First, she has a new brand. And second, she just started her own brokerage. Today, we'll hear exactly why she decided to do both. I'm Tanya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding. We're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.
And I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was actually a client before I became a partner in the company, and we do Be Bold Branding to help you, just like Cindy, take the fear out of putting yourself out there. And now we'd like to welcome Cindy Jamison to the podcast. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, how are you guys today?
Very good.
Good. So happy you could join us today, Cindy. So we're going to start with this question. Tell us how and why you got into real estate.
Oh, well, I started in real estate back in 1998. I just had some friends who were starting to buy rental properties here in the Twin Cities, and they just were really excited about it and started talking to me about, leveraging your money and how, properties appreciate. And I had not even bought a home up to that point. And so I started looking into it, and I started reading some of Robert Kiyosaki's books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and some of his real estate books. And I just got really excited about it. And so I bought my first rental property in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I just went from there and started a very long career in real estate, buying rentals, also did some buying and flipping of homes. And then I ended up getting my real estate license in 2004 when I was living in Georgia. And then I moved back to Minnesota, and I got my license here, and now I'm opening up my own brokerage. So it's pretty exciting. It's all kind of coming full circle again.
That's fantastic. I like to see that growth. Plus, I like to see you've got experience in multiple states, which even adds more to what you can bring to your clients. That's great.
Yeah, and it's very different real estate in the two different states. So it's interesting to see how things are done different in different places.
It sure is. Now, when we first spoke to you, you were in the process of studying for your broker's license so you could open up your own brokerage. You decided to do your brand first. Super smart right there. Why did you make that choice, and why did you decide to come into the BrandFace program? So sort of a two-phase question right there.
Why did I decide to do the personal branding first? I think I was, at the time, this was before the virus, and so I was thinking I could probably time it out, get my personal brand rolling. And after talking with Tanya, I just was kind of thinking the time frame I might be able to kind of do them simultaneously, and maybe with any luck at all, roll them out at the same time, the new company and the personal brand. Unfortunately, with the COVID virus hitting and then not being able to sit for my proctored final exam, that put everything on like a 3 to 4 month delay, which is why I still don't have, the broker's license is days away. But luckily we were able to keep moving with the personal brand, which was a little challenging. You guys had to wait on me mostly because I didn't always have everything figured out, as far as my own, I was going through the process of doing my own logo at the time, my own colors for the company. So of course we had to tie all that together. So sometimes you had to wait a little bit on me, but yeah, just getting it done. I just knew that I wanted the personal, even though I was doing my own brokerage, I knew that I needed that personal brand. I knew I needed something to make me stand out and me look different than the other agents in the area. So it was not really a question of whether or not I was going to do it. It was just how we were going to all put it together at the same time.
Was there anything that you were particularly afraid of when coming into the program?
At the time, because I was also trying to set up, to take my broker's class and set up my new brokerage. And then when I talked to you and I was like, oh gosh, this sounds like it's going to be like a lot of work. And I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to have time to juggle all of this at the same time. And so I was a little bit nervous about just thinking in my head that it was going to be just a tremendous amount of work, and it was going to take weeks and weeks and weeks of time to get it done. And so that was one fear that I had. And I guess the other fear was just, trying to, a little bit nervous about the whole personal brand, like, the brand identifier, and just wondering, well, gosh, how are they gonna make me look different? What is it about me that makes me special? Why, it's hard to wrap your head around that. I mean, you just do what you do. And I mean, it was difficult for me to comprehend that, but I will say that it was not hard at all. It was, all my fears were unfounded, and the process was actually amazingly easy. I mean, that was the least of everything. Was the process, and the modules were incredibly easy. They would have been even easier had I had my brokerage set up, but going through those were actually a breeze. You guys have a way of setting it up that makes it very user friendly.
Excellent. That's so good to hear, because that is a fear that a lot of people have. Is like, oh my gosh, this is so complex. It's going to have to take so much of my personal time. And really, when we looked at it, this was probably, well, we've done it a few times since we started the program years ago, but most recent was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. We said, how much time is it really taking people to go through the program? Our main objective was to set it up so that we could take on most of that heavy lifting for you and guide you through it, and have the videos set up, and here's your next step, and we come in and collaborate together, and we do the work, and we bring it back to you, and all of that. So when we really pared it down, we found that it took about an hour and 15 minutes a week for that 6 to 8 week period. But that is a huge fear. So I'm glad you addressed that.
Yes, that was amazing. No, you guys made it super easy, and I appreciate that.
That was definitely our goal, because we know, I mean, when you're in the real estate business, you've got so many things to keep up with and to keep moving forward. So, it's time that you have to invest into yourself if you really want to have that longevity and not just be a transactional person. But you got to take the time to do that. We really wanted people to be able to continue to do their work and do what they're supposed to do in their craft while building that future. Let's talk about your brand a little bit. Tell everyone what your brand identifier is and why that suits you so perfect.
Well, my brand identifier is the extra mile agent. I think, I was really excited when I first heard it, and I definitely feel that it does fit me. Over the years, having to fill out the questionnaire, the whole, what makes you unique. I did go back and look at a lot of my customer reviews and comments, and just thinking back to what people have said, and over and over again, I think most of my clients will just say that they felt that I went over and above, always going the extra mile for them, working tirelessly on their behalf, and just making everything kind of seamlessly come together for them. And just, they were always amazed at, how much work I would put into things, and anticipating, possible problems that would happen, and, kind of heading those off before they would become a big issue. So I think I really was happy with the personal brand identifier. I think it works very well for me.
What was the easiest part for you, and what was the hardest part?
By far the hardest part was filling out that questionnaire at the beginning. You really had, I did take several days to really, really, really think about that, which is important. That's the foundation of everything. So, and then the easy part is just, how you guys have it set up. It's, you just do the one module, and like you said, you've got these great instructional videos that just lays everything out for you, exactly how to do it. It was really amazing, just how everything kind of flowed together, from one thing to the next. I was really nervous about my photo shoot, but you guys made it really easy. You kind of laid it all out there. This is what we're looking for. This is, these are the shots we want. This is what you should look like. Having the personal consultant, go over, helping you just even with the look and outfits and stuff like that. Everything that you did just really made the process easy. I really didn't have to think a lot about it. It was just follow the directions. And so I've put a lot of trust in the process as we've gone along. There's been times I'm like, how is this going to work out? I'm just in my mind going, okay. But I've just really watched the process. And so it's just a matter of trusting the process and how you guys work, because you really do. I mean, bringing it all together is really, truly amazing what you do. So just trusting the process and just going through the modules and following the directions is really super easy.
I'm glad to hear that, actually.
You bet.
Yeah, and that you nailed it really when you said trusting the process. And that's so hard for us to do as humans, because I was just, I just have to throw this in. I was dealing with pool contractors today and calling up and trying. You can't get customer service. Like you can't, it's unbelievable to me.
Sidebar.
Trusting the system is so hard, but I apply that because unfortunately, so many businesses and so many things that we all as humans deal with every day, we can't trust the system, and that gives us a natural distrust of things.
Right.
We don't ever want BrandFace to be that way. So I'm glad that you pushed through and trusted that system. That means a lot. How do you feel like your brand, and do you feel like your brand has made you bolder?
Since I've come here to Minnesota and got my license here, I'm in a pretty competitive, this lake community it's a nice community. There's a pretty high average income here, pretty high median, per sale. There's a handful of very good agents that have been in this community, some of them their whole lives. We're talking, 20 some plus years, each one of them. And everybody knows who they are because it's the same signs out on the roads. It's the same postcards you get in the mail with the same faces, the same names. So it's a little intimidating, very intimidating. And for me, just to be another agent out there, I was really terrified. I was just like, how am I gonna make a difference? How am I gonna be seen? How is anyone gonna take me seriously? Or, even look twice at my name with my face, because, working with graphic artists around here and, trying to put ads together in some of the local guidebooks and different things, I kept going from one graphic artist to another, because I just nobody could create anything that just wasn't boring and just the same. And I'm like, this isn't what I want. I need someone with some creativity, so I was getting frustrated because I wasn't finding out there what I needed, what I wanted, of how I wanted to portray myself to look different, to be noticed. So I think having this brand, and I'm looking at a bunch of print materials that I just got back from the printer, and it's just like I could have never come up with any of this stuff. So it just definitely raises my level of confidence while I'm out there talking to customers or potential clients, and just having everything just looks similar and as my materials. There's just that reinforcement, because everything I do and everything I'm putting out there, it has that same feel, that same look, that same tone, because that's how the designers put it all together. So it just makes me a lot more confident, gives me confidence to go out there, and I just feel like there's a professional edge that I have, because I'm not going to look the same. I mean, my ads, my things that I'm doing out there look very different than all these other people, because, their postcards all look the same. They're all self-proclaimed area experts, which is fine. They can be the area expert, but these are the things that I'm good at. And, like my spotlight sheet and little sound bites and stuff like that. Those are the things that I'm going to be known for. It doesn't, I don't want to be the next in line as the area expert, that I don't want to be known as just that, because they're all known as that.
Right.
Or they claim to be. So I don't know. I hope I answered your question, but I definitely feel like it has given me a lot more confidence, the materials that I have, and not just the print, but even online. I'll be using that a lot more online with Facebook and websites and stuff like that.
Okay, Cindy, there are business owners and entrepreneurs, sales pros out there right now who are afraid of putting themselves out there, might not even understand the importance of putting themselves out there in the way that you have. What would you say to them about becoming a brand face?
I would just say, just do it, because it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your future. And like I said, I was so frustrated with, I kept thinking it's all these graphic artists. It's not me. I can't convey to them what I want, how I want to be portrayed in these ads until you guys, took the whole big picture, boiled it all down, and came up with just these amazing, materials for me. And they're exactly what I want. They're exactly what I need. And I mean, unless another agent or salesperson, if they want to just look the same in the same ads that you see in the magazines with, just the little tiny picture and the name and what they do. And nobody looks twice at any of that stuff because there isn't any reason to look twice at it. It's the best investment I've made in my future as far as real estate goes, possibly ever. I've got all my eggs in this basket, and I'm excited to roll it all out together and just go with it and just keep building on it and just see where it takes me.
Well, we are honored that you are a part of the BrandFace family, Cindy.
Absolutely.
You came into this with gusto, and I actually love the fact that you were very frustrated, because that tells me you're like, like you put a racehorse in behind the gate, and the race is about to start, and he's just like, I can't open the gate.
Exactly.
And I love that. I love that, because that tells me that you came into it on fire. And that's really what we want to see more than anything else. When people come into the program, we say, we want you to be as excited about it as we are. Mm-hmm. Because this is what we're so passionate about, and what we help people do is find that inner star. And there is so much inner star in there. And I love the way the brand came forward, Cindy, because it's so authentic. It really represents you super well. And we're so happy that you're happy with it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I know one of the things too that you had said, Michael, in one of your webinars or something that early on when I first started with BrandFace, and you were talking about how great it was to have all of your materials together. And so anytime you need to go put something together for, a new article or new fundraiser or something, it's a matter of just a couple of minutes. It's like, oh, I'm going to take this, put my, phone number on there, my address, and it's good to go. I mean, I can literally create ads off the materials that you guys give me, and still they're all looking the same. And it's like, bam, 2 minutes later, I've got the perfect ad. It's graphic ready to go for whatever the purpose is. And when you were saying that, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, that would be awesome to be able to do that, because that is something that's always frustrating. Every time you have to create something, it's like, oh, where do I start? You guys just make it so easy. It's like, wow, I've got everything I need now. I've got all my tools in the same toolbox, and they're just easy to use. I can whip them out and adjust them a little bit if I need to for any occasion. So I'm very appreciative of that. That is one of the big highlights that I've gotten out of this program too.
That's awesome. We're again glad to hear that also, because it is so important. I mean, we don't have time to wait 2 weeks to get proofs back and forth and stuff like that. Once you've got that brand identified and you've got all those elements, you can just pull them at a drop of a hat, get them over to your printer, and it saves so much time, and time is money to us.
It's phenomenal. So I appreciate that so much.
Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Well, if you guys have questions about your brand and want to learn more about us, head to discussyourbrand.com and schedule a free 30-minute session with our team. And we'll talk about your challenges and goals, and we'll get you where Cindy is now. All right?
Yep. And if you like what you've heard today, we encourage you to like it, share it, subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you can be the first to know about new podcast premieres and new people putting brands out there and being bold. Because folks, look, we know that it's about prosperity. That's what the whole thing is, why we do what we do. But we're not just talking about money. Prosperity is the full 360 of the abundant life that we want for everybody. And we know here that prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold, especially with your brand. Thank you, Miss Tanya, and thank you, Miss Cindy. You're incredible. Hey guys. And I know you're going to stay a part of our family, and we're going to encourage you from now on and help you any way we can to continue to put that brand out there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Cindy. We'll see you guys next time on Be Bold Branding.